right? Social media seems to be the number one reason why people quit nowadays, because they don't know how to do it and they don't know how to market themselves correctly online, right? They might
Mm,
be the next like Porter Robinson or fantastic artist like next Deadmau5 or something like that, but no, if no one hears it, then you're irrelevant. And so
mm.
this is where you need to be at that point where you think you can take a next step, but the only problem is you don't know how to take the next step. And I think that's a really good part for this class.
Before you joined the accelerator program, what were the main things that you were uh, needing clarity on?
Pretty much the biggest thing was direction was a big one, right? I had the brand, like making it more cohesive was a big problem that I was having, right? I had a very separated brand, and now lately I've been doing pretty good with it. Um, that and how to take the next step. I feel like I'm at that point where I want to take a next step, and I think I have the music for it. And so I thought taking this program, you're going to help us along with that. And big thing out of that was like, I mean, how to promote myself correctly, not just with making videos, but how to like do ads and stuff correctly. And just get my name out there. And then I mean, obviously you've helped a lot with just based on the like production side of this as well. But this was a lot more about like on how to turn this into a career from a thing I do all the time into a full blown career. And that's the steps that I was willing to take and with this program.
And so, was there anything in particular about the program specifically that you feel like helped in that regard?
But like actually the actual content.
Well, just about the coaching program, like, was there anything, I guess, any methodology that helped out?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the being able to like break down the brand and see how other people did it, especially I mean, this was after we got into the actual coaching part with that group coaching. When we got to see your old ad account, that was actually I think a couple weeks ago. That really helped a lot because you can see how it was targeted and which videos did well and how to actually set them up. Um, and then obviously, you helped a lot with the just going over my brand and how to give me homework. The homework was a really good thing because it forced me to do it and forced me to focus on it. But that also built like muscle memory so I could continue to do that instead of just putting it off or waiting till the day of that I need to make a post to make a post. Right now, I make them in advance and actually put a lot of thought into them and how to make them better. And that's made the method quicker too. So those were all good things. And then obviously with you helped me a lot of at least with the three songs that I've shown you, you helped me a lot with that, like sitting down and going through them and how to get them to the I guess the label ready stage, right? Because
Yeah,
I was like right there, but then you helped me take that extra step. And so hopefully get some of these songs signed, some bigger labels. So all that just the one-on-one stuff really helped a lot. And being able to have access to you whenever and just be able to send you stuff and bounce ideas off of you.
yeah,
That's
100%.
been super helpful.
Yeah,
Definitely been super
100%.
helpful.
Yeah, because I wanted this whole experience to be not just like a structured, super structured program where it's like everyone takes the same journey. I wanted it to be more of like a almost like a relationship that I have with somebody because it's over such a long period of time. So it's like, we become like friends out of this, so it's like we get to know each other and we riff back and forth and figure out what the weaknesses are and how we can like, build it up and hopefully get some like strong results out of it by the end of, us working together. And, although we've, finished the one-on-one period of the program, we still got, months and months of the group coaching calls to go. So there's like much more that we can be achieving from here onwards. But that's great to hear that now that you've got direction, you have structure, you have like the idea of like what the best next steps to be taking in that regard. But
Mhm.
where do you feel like you'd be right now if you hadn't taken action and originally joined the program?
I definitely would be thinking that my music was at a level that it was. It's crazy now that after I've taken it and you give me a few tips here and there and how to market it, and I'm listening to music differently. It sounds really weird, but I've gone back and I've like mixed and re-changed a lot of things about some of my older songs because getting them ready for what labels want because you open my eyes a lot because things that I thought sounded really really good, right? You were like this certain things needed to change, and then I go back and listen to my older songs, and then I'm starting to pick up on that stuff now. On the stuff, it's like, wow, if I was a listener, this doesn't sound right, and you helped me out a lot with that. And then I would just be making space videos. Like I wouldn't be incorporating the music side into my brand, and incorporating the space side into the music side. That's what I've been doing a lot lately, and I've
Mm.
really starting to get pretty good at it. So that stuff helped out a lot, and that all came from like the homework and looking at other people's brands, and a lot of the stuff you had in the PowerPoint, or the, I guess there are PowerPoints, yeah. There's a lot of good stuff in there, a lot of good thought provoking questions that you don't really think about too much, um, especially when you don't have the direction that you need for it. Like I had all the right ideas, it's the direction that was the problem for me, and you really helped that out.
That's really good to hear, because I feel like most people, it's just that they have like the right music and they're going the right way about that, but they just like lose direction at some point because there's so many different ways to do it. Like there's just too much information out there now. So it's like, I feel like even for my own sake, I feel like it's good to have some kind of like narrow structure of which way to go and just go all in on that. So it's good also that, you know, your perception of the industry has changed a bit as well, because I think being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes and kind of cater to what that is all really marketing, really, is at the end of the day. And that's what's always helped me. Because I never studied it or anything. It was just, it's just really just like, if you can change your perception of being like, would somebody else want this, or what would they think of this, then you pretty much can cater to anything in whatever you're doing. So I think that's really great that it's changed your perception on things. And so one last question, if there's anyone who's watching this video and is on the fence about jumping on a call to see what it's all about, what would you say to them?
I would say make sure that you make sure it's right for you. Make sure at the right spot, because this is not going to be for everyone, right? This is not going to be super production heavy, right? This is going to be on the part that most artists suck at, and usually the reason why people quit, right? Social media seems to be the number one reason why people quit nowadays, because they don't know how to do it and they don't know how to market themselves correctly online, right? They might be the next like Porter Robinson or fantastic artist like next Deadmau5 or something like that, but if no one hears it, then you're irrelevant. And so this is where you need to be at that point where you think you can take a next step, but the only problem is you don't know how to take the next step. And I think that's a really good part for this class. It's definitely not for a production kind of class, and that's what it shouldn't be, because a lot of people know production. You can watch YouTube 1,000 times or 1,000 different videos on YouTube and learn how to production. Right? Most people do teach themselves on YouTube nowadays, right? But a lot of people, there's a lot of social media gurus out there, right? That people say, hey, pay all this money and you're going to learn this and this and this, but it's never usually that's all good information, but it doesn't mean it's tailored directly to your brand.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's the biggest problem there. It is a generalization. Like this is, they might be looking at rap music artists or something, and that doesn't apply to you. That's a completely different demographic, completely different people that you're trying to impress, right? There's different kinds of listeners for each music, for rock, like anything, even just electronic music. Like I make a very different electronic music than the next person. And so it's really breaking down your brand and how to get you to that next level, not how to get someone generically to the next level. And so that was the biggest difference. And so that's where the one-on-one comes in. And so that was probably the best part. 100%, that's why you should take this class.
No, I'm glad you think the same way, because I think being like doing something that's specific to your situation is obviously going to get you the results, as opposed to it being like a video program that has its own structure of like, do this on week 1 and then do this on week 2 and that's it. Because it's like, who knows where you're currently at? Like you could be at any place, so it's impossible to have something that's tailor-made if it's just a video or some shit, like, you know, YouTube video.